I will call the Board of Water Commissioners to order for Tuesday evening, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. with the following statement. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to an order issued by the Governor of Massachusetts dated March 12th, 2020, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. I don't see any other participants on. Is anyone recording the meeting?
Nope.
Okay, the board has one item of business on the agenda tonight, which is to discussion to potentially authorize the town administrator to sign an agreement with Environmental Partners Group for engineering services related to fiscal year 21 water main projects. We're joined by Water Superintendent Russell Tierney. Russell, I'll turn it over to you. I know that you've sent the agreement to us all in advance and we've had an opportunity to review it, but perhaps you could just review the scope of the work, why the selection of environmental partners, and then answer any questions my colleagues may have.
No problem at all. So this next project is our second water main replacement project for FY21. It is all work that was kind of set aside during the transition of the water company from Aquarian to the town. Some of this stuff was in about 50% design, some of it was about 60% design. I don't know if any of them were really shovel ready, but these are the streets that will wrap up the streets that were put on hold due to the transition of the water company. It's Crow Point Lane. I think that's wrong, but I'll double check that. Downing Street, the spelling, Wampatuck, Maple Lane, and Hayes Road. So Downing, Crow Point, and Wampatuck are all being fully reclamated and paved by the town. So that's in with JR's paving schedule. Maple Lane and Hayes Road are both shallow mains that freeze and we have bleeders on them. They will be the last two streets that we know of in the system that have bleeders. So we want to get those back to a normal depth and so that we don't need to run them all winter long and waste all that water. Environmental Partners right now has the most experience in the system and actually has the best hydraulic model we have right now calibrated. We are actually not part of this, but we are going to do some flow testing on Friday to get a few more points to calibrate the model. But they definitely have the most experience and the most knowledge of the system to get these jobs done. And they did a really nice job on the last one. So I just want to stay with them for right now to make sure we have consistency with the main jobs and what's going on. And they're doing what's best for the town right now.
Thank you. Russ, could you speak to the timing of these projects and the cost of the contract with EPG?
So these projects, we're hoping to start in March because we should be finished up with Beulah Road and Beulah Place by the end of this month. So that way that JR is going to start paving there because that was due up last year. So we're going to get that paved. These ones I'm hoping to get out and bid in February and start in March or April at the latest. We'll get started. Due to the fact that we want to get this done summer, and that's Atlantic Ave and Hull. I don't know if you guys are aware, but they're doing a full depth reconstruction of that entire road, a big section of that road. The gas company's already placed the water main in there, so I want to get these ones out on the street, get them bid, so we can start looking at that one next. The total field work and subsurface investigation is about 16.6. The water main design is 44,200. Permitting is about $13,000. The bidding is about 8,000, which is right in line with everything else they've bid for us. It must be the number they use for bidding a job like this of this size. Administration is about $70,000. The resident project representative is a high number. We've all talked about that. They are still giving us a very good rate of I think it's $105 an hour, and the going rate's anywhere from 125 to 150. And I've even seen 180. I talked to someone yesterday that actually got a price of 180. I know that there was some discussion about potentially we could do that in-house, and I think we should head that direction. But right now, again, with the consistency in what Environmental Partners brought to the table for the town in general for knowledge of the town, I think it's worth the money right now. And plus, I don't think I have the time yet to stand out there all day. And we will, like I said, that's something we will discuss in going to next fiscal year. Right now, there's a lot of other stuff going on that we need to take care of. So let them take care of these things, get them done correctly. So the total cost is $323.
And that's included in the capital.
Capital money, yep. And I did actually, I don't have it with me, Mary, I'm sorry, because I was been out of the office for a couple of days. I've been up in the town, but not in my office. But I believe it's about $6 or $7 less per linear foot than the last bid. I believe the last bid was around $51 a foot. This one's about 47 or 46. I don't have it in front of me, but it is less. It's less per linear foot for the actual jobs.
Joe, questions for us?
Yeah, I just want to clarify on the budget. So the 323, that is consistent with what has been budgeted for this work?
Yeah, it's actually less. So what I did is I took the last couple jobs that I saw and took the total amount of engineering costs, divided by the total linear feet of the job. And the one we just did, Beulah Road, we bid it came in about 51 or so per linear foot. This one came in under 47 per linear foot, or 47, right around there. So it's actually a little less than what we got in the last couple jobs.
I understand it's less than the jobs, but in terms of what's been budgeted for the water system.
So what we budgeted for the water system, I took out of engineering, and I think I bid about, for the whole job, it was like $300 a foot. So I didn't break out engineering, but I'm gonna do that starting next year. When I first got here, I kind of just took the job as a whole and knew that engineering and construction was about $250 to $300 a foot. So we are within, the last one we were in budget, and I'm confident we'll be in budget with this one. Like I said, that's why I compared it to the last one per linear foot, to make sure we weren't paying more per linear foot for engineering. So included in my budget.
So, and I noticed that the contract has a completion date of August 31, 2021.
Correct.
So is that an indication that you're not expecting any additional water main replacement work after August?
This is just, no, this is just this one contract. John had actually made it the end of the fiscal year, but I asked him if we could extend it through August, just in case the end of the contract documents aren't done by by June 30th. I can encumber that money into next year's budget, just so that we can get the contract, the as-built and all that from EP after the job's done. Because this is probably gonna take a 2 or 3 month job.
And is it your practice, like if something comes up, there's an emergency, the need for an emergency water main replacement, do you do an addendum to this contract? Do you have a separate contract? How does that work?
Haven't done it yet, but we could do an addendum. We absolutely could do an addendum. I would run that through a new procurement officer. Wow, I can't remember her name right now.
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah, I just didn't know what our practice would be.
Kathy. Yeah, I would talk to Kathy about it, but I believe we could, because I've done it in other towns where, something comes up all of a sudden while you're out there, and that's why we would put the last two as alternates. The big reason is because of that intake line in Apper Pond. I'm thinking about $500,000, so I want to leave that $500,000 there in case we need it for that. But if this comes in, at a good bid price, we may still be able to do those 2 streets this year.
Yep.
I did bump Hayes Road and the other one up into FY22 in the budget. But again, I would like to get it on this budget. But again, Apper Pond is going to take precedence over those 2 jobs as of right now.
Thanks, Russ. That's all I have.
And hey, Joe, just one thing to build on that for, going forward, one of the things that we've talked about doing in subsequent years of the water company operation is to establish a capital stabilization fund.
Okay.
And the concept would be that if there are capital expenditures that come up that were unplanned for, and rather than repurposing capital dollars, we would say, hey, we want to do all the capital projects we had planned, but we need to take care of this. We'd have the funds available. So that's going to be, I think, an important tool, given the asset intensive nature of this business. Exactly. And what we know about the age of the water mains. I mean, 192 miles of mains, average age of 67 years, average life of a main is 70. So it'll be, I think, a helpful tool for us going forward.
Yep, thank you.
Bill, questions for us?
Russ, I know this is the contract, the engineering contract. The one question I have for you, Russ, is when the work is done, it's gonna be done by the bargaining unit, correct?
I mean,
Like our guys will do the work on the lines when it's done. I know when eventually we do these projects.
so the construction will go out to bid like it did in the last one. So it'll be done by whatever contractor wins the bid. It'll be a competitive bid. Yeah. Our guys, the only thing that our guys do and have done in the past is they do the taps, and sometimes they were doing the services in some cases. So we are talking with with Suez and the union about that right now, because on this job I did not do that. But I think the taps we could, allow them to do, so it doesn't take away from their other important work. But the contractors are very capable of doing their own taps and things like that. And I will give Suez a kudos, because the contractor that was coming to do the actual tap on Lincoln Street, his truck broke down on the way to the job. We had the hole open and everything was ready to go. Between us and Holdley and Suez, we actually got it done for them. So it worked out well, so that everybody jumped in and worked together and got it done.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Russ.
I don't see any members of the public to open it up for questions. Russ, you had just mentioned for someone who might be watching this during playback, you mentioned that Hayes and Maple Roads were bleeders. Just for the benefit of the viewing audience, could you just describe what a bleeder is and why it's not a good idea to have bleeders in a water system?
Basically, those water mains are not at a depth where that frost will affect them, and sometimes they freeze. And I know that both of them have frozen in the past, even with the bleeders running. So what a bleeder is, it's just an open pipe that we crack when it starts getting really cold out. It allows the water in the main to keep on moving, but it eliminates the potential of freezing. There's one more street that is like that, but that street is going to be addressed during the Atlantic Ave main. I have that with that one there. So that'll get rid of all of these, but it's a waste of water. It's actually unaccounted for water. We don't know exactly how much we're dumping down the drain. So by getting rid of those, it helps us with unaccounted for water.
Yep. And I would just say, with respect to Environmental Partners Group, I think the town is just so very fortunate to have such a great partnership with EPG. Particularly with Ryan Trahan, the quality of the work is top notch. We are, as I said, just very fortunate to have a great partnership with them, and in particular, in these first few months with a lot of these projects. EPG has done a lot of work in the system over time, and they also have familiarity with our system. And I think that also really really does help out. Anyway, Tom, did you have anything else to add, or Michelle?
Nope.
Other than just to reiterate what you just said about my faith and trust in EPG. They're a fantastic company. They do terrific work.
Yep, and I should also just mention that okay. If either of my colleagues wants to make a motion.
I'll move to authorize the town administrator to sign the agreement with Environmental Partners Group, Inc. for engineering services related to the fiscal year 21 water main replacement project in an amount not to exceed $323,100.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. And I should also mention, in addition to Ryan Trahan, Mark White, who is a Hingham resident, has also been providing just outstanding support to the town, the water system, and to Russ. The other item we have on our agenda this evening is public comment. Don't know if anyone has a comment they would wish to make. Okay, seeing none, I just wanted to make one comment, and that is that I want to recognize our superintendent, Russ Tierney. Not only is Russ a water superintendent extraordinaire. And we are just so fortunate that he is part of our team. But recently, Russ was driving through Hingham, and Russ is a hands-on kind of guy. He's not in his office a lot. He's out doing the business of the water company. And I'm told that he came upon a house that was on fire. He pulled over, he knocked on the door. When there was no answer, he actually kind of went in to make sure that there wasn't anybody there. On the way, he called 911. I know I'm getting the sequence off a little bit here, but made the call. The house was vacant at the time. And were it not for his doing that, there could have been significantly more damage. And we're also just very fortunate that no one was injured in the process. So, you know, Russ, you're an important part of our team in so many different ways. And I think that's just one small example of your commitment to the town, your commitment to the people here. And we are just delighted that you're part of our team.
Well, I'm gonna thank you guys again for giving me the opportunity, because this is a great job for me, and I really like the town. I really do. I'm starting to learn more and more about it every day, and then everybody around me is just as great. I give thumbs up to Tom and Michelle and everybody else for, you know, supporting me and all that stuff. So I thank you. And yeah, it was just something I saw and I caught out of the corner of my eye. It's like, you know, when you find a water leak and you didn't mean to, but this was a fire, and I'm just glad nobody was there and nobody got hurt. It was pretty intense. I was by the time I was done, I don't even know what I did. I was talking to the deputy, and I'm like, I don't remember what I did. And he goes, well, you went in the house a little bit. I go, I know, but I was just all adrenaline. But you know, I was happy no one was in the house. There was 3 cars in the driveway, so it was really nerve wracking.
Yeah, absolutely. And Russ, just for the record, because I do know Chief Murphy's doing his budget a little bit later. And I know that he maybe is asking for a request for an additional firefighter, but you're going to stay put in the water superintendent role for a while. So
Believe me, I am. There's a lot of
we
stress in
need
that
you to
business.
we need you to keep your day job, because you're doing so well and you're instrumental to the success of public ownership of this utility.
I don't know how the fire department guys do it. That is a nerve-wracking job. That is nerve-wracking. I give them a lot of credit. So thank you. Thanks, Mary.
So with that, I'm going to take a motion to adjourn. The Board of Selectmen will actually be reconvening on this same Zoom call ID at 7 o'clock. But at this point, I would take a motion to adjourn the Water Commissioners meeting for January 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, guys.
All those in favor, Joe,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Mary, aye.